we go. Hi, everybody. It's Jennifer Brennan. Welcome to our live webinar from Chalet's Virtual Learning Center. And I'm here to show you how to recreate these wonderful fairy gardens. And there's one for adults and one for children. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do each one and show you what all the ingredients are. I want to check to make sure to see, and I'm sitting kind of way away, so I have to kind of lean forward to do this. Oh my goodness, we have 24 people. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Now, what I like to do with our webinars is go through the whole process, and then I save time at the end to answer questions. So if you will use the question and answer area to enter your questions rather than the chat box, it works so much better for me and for you all of the viewers and all the attendees. So what I should probably see a show of hands is which one I should do first. And I think I'm going to do the one that is the larger one for the adults. And it's more, to me, it looks like a meditative escape garden, but also, and technically, I have to tell you, the people that make the products for the fairy gardens, want us to call them miniature gardens. So here's one of the examples of one of the products. And this is the Fiddlehead Fairy Garden is the name of the company. And you can see it says miniature garden accessories because some people are not happy with talking about fairies. But don't say that out loud because you never want to make the fairies angry at you. So we'll just go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm moving. Oh, now this is one of my most important secrets to share with you all. When we're going to be working with potting mix or potting soil, when we plant into it, it's soil. When it gets under our fingernails, on our pants or on the kitchen floor, it's dirt. Okay. I had a professor in college. It was a floral design class. And if you ever called it dirt, he took 10 points off your project. Ooh, so I kind of have a sore spot about that. So we planted it in its soil, but to prevent the soil from turning into dirt on your fingernails, use your favorite lotion. And what you do is, you should be generous with the lotion and slather it all over your hands. And this is good for adults and children. If we have any young people that are participating in this, get that lotion and slather it and smush it, really work it into your cuticles. See, I'm working in my cuticles, and then scrape your fingernails over the palms of your hands. And then that puts the lotion under your fingernails. When you wash your hands with hot soapy water afterwards, they come completely clean. You'll be amazed. It's almost like the fairies were helping you keep your hands clean. Okay, so now I'm slathering it all up. And what I'm going to do, actually, we'll just do a little tour. I'm going to show you this cute one. This is the children's one. And you can see the fairy sitting there enjoying her crops. And then she has some corn and she has some rows of cabbages, and there's a wonderful birdhouse. And then that's the plant that's growing in there is oregano. So you can actually use that as an herb to cook with. And then there's cute little flowers that are inserted, and those are dried status, but I've got an artificial flower that I'm going to show you how to use. And then look at the cute little birdhouse. Isn't that fun? Okay, so now I'm going to set this aside, and we'll show you the details on that when I do that one. I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about it right now. Excuse me. All right, this. Okay, can you hear? This is a non-breakable bowl that we're going to be using. It's actually a pet food bowl. Is that fun? So perfect for children in case it gets dropped, it won't break. So we're going to get to that in a minute. Okay. Now, the adult version, and I've got cool tools. Look, I have a little miniature shovel, a little miniature rake to help spread the gravel. We'll be using that in a little bit. I also have a wire cutter. Everyone should have a wire cutter. And the reason I'm going to use a wire cutter is that on these artificial plants, they're wired, or these artificial flowers. And I like to use these, and to cut them, they're actually wired. And you just take your wire cutter and snip, and look, we're going to be able to use this and stick this in. So it's going to look like a fairy size, beautiful flowering plant. Pruning shears. You should have pruning shears anytime you're dealing with plants, so if you need to trim them. Those are important tools. Now the adult version, look at this. Don't you just want to go into meditation when you look at this? I mean, look, okay, so it's glass. So look how fun when you put it in glass, you can see all the layers. And that in itself is really fun to see. You can see the gravel in the bottom. There's a little bit of charcoal on top of the gravel to keep any water that gathers in the gravel fresh. Then there's the potting mix, and then the sand on the top, or the crystals on the top, make it look like a beach. And then you've got your moss. You've got 4 different plants that are planted in there, and then a wonderful crystal, a quartz crystal. It's right there by this finger. So I'm going to set this aside and bring my other one over here. I'm going to move the tools up here, and then move this up here. It's kind of heavy. It's a good thing I lift weights, huh? Okay, so there it is. Ooh, okay, we'll let the Buddha keep eye over us. Isn't that, no, we don't want it to get in our way. Okay, so now here's my fresh bowl. And to start with, you need to put a layer of gravel. And we sell gravel from this company here, small bags, so you don't have to we sell big bags too. We sell like half cubic foot bags, but you can do a small one. And you're just going to pour this into the bottom of the bowl. And you want about 1/4 of an inch depth, maybe even a 1/2 inch. And the reason that this is important, and I'll talk after the noise is fun, isn't it? Okay. The reason you have this is there's no drainage in these containers. And that's not good horticulturally, but it's great for the furniture. So if you water the plants, you don't have to worry about water draining out. Because of that, you have to be a little more cautious about when you water, but I'm going to talk about that at the end. Now, one thing that's really important is to water the plants you're going to be working with the day before or the morning before. So I watered these so the roots are nice and hydrated. And this is a creeping fig. I love these plants, a creeping fig. This is a polka dot plant, is this next one. And this is hypostes, is the Latin name, polka dot plant. This is a white variegated one. And then we're going to use 2 ferns, which work great inside if you don't have bright light. And this one is a blue star fern. Really nice, more coarse texture. And then this is a rabbit's foot fern with that nice feathery look. When you put them together, it's going to give you a real good look. And that's we're matching this, she says, as she holds it up. And see you see the polka dot plant, and you can see the variegated creeping fig and the 2 ferns. And so the next step is I like to use a little bit of charcoal, but I'm not going to use my hand to pour it in because it gets your hands all nice and black. It's not nice and black, but dusty black. So I'm just sprinkling a little bit of the charcoal over the surface. And it's probably, if you're going to measure it, it would be a tablespoon of this charcoal, and you sprinkle that over. And the reason you do the charcoal is if water stands, if you have enough water that stands in the bottom of the container, and it might, when it stands, the charcoal keeps any fungus from growing, any bacteria from growing. So it keeps it fresh. You won't, and it will prevent water molds, and water molds are the disease that can give a plant root rot. So that's why it's really helpful to do that. So now the next step, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the potting mix over the gravel and the charcoal, but only a little, because I want to set the plants in place and then use the potting mix to fill in around them. Instead of digging it like putting the soil on the top and having to dig to plant the plants that you're planting out in a garden, it's much easier and much tidier to just fill in the potting mix around the plants after you've set them in place. So I'm going to move these out of the way. Excuse me for standing up. And what I like to do, we use our chalet potting mix, and it's a mix that is made from mostly composted bark with long fiber sphagnum and a little bit of short fiber sphagnum, and then white perlite. And I'm going to hold this up so you can see kind of up close. See in my hand, and the white is the perlite. So I'm going to sprinkle this over here just to cover the surface, and I'm just going to use my bare hand and then sprinkle it over. Okay, and then that's covering the gravel and the charcoal, and it's giving a nice base for the root system of the plants that I'm going to put in. Now these plants are 4-inch size. This is actually my favorite. These little 3-inch size ones, but we're limited on the number of those that we can get. But you can see that this is right up in this corner right here. So I'm just going to take it and I massage the pot, and then gently pull out the plant. Okay, and see, there we go. And I'm just going to set it right down on top of the soil that I have. Pardon me. All right. Now, when I look at this, I see the top of this is higher than the top of the pot. So what I'm going to do is just kind of gently tickle the bottom of this. And by tickling the bottom, I'm just knocking some of the extra soil off and actually encouraging the roots that are in here to grow out away from the root ball. And that's going to lower the level of the plant in here, and then just leave it sitting. And I'm actually going to position it so if it wants to, it can grow out over the edge. I kind of like it when it does that. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to give credit to Karina, is one of our virtual managers, our visual managers here at the store. She's brilliant. She's the one that put this, this design together. So I'm just being the horticulturist, showing you how to do it at home for yourself. So we've got this in here. Now the next one is I want to match the way this one is. I'm going to use the real cut-leafed fern, the rabbit's foot fern. And the reason it's called a rabbit's foot fern is that when the stem grows on top of the soil, it looks furry, like a rabbit's foot. And so I'm doing the same thing. I'm actually gonna tickle this, take it out of the pot. Now this has, oh goodness, this had a 4-inch depth pot, but look what happened. This part just dropped off. I was going to knock it off anyway. So don't you love it? Okay, so now I'm going to tuck this one in right back and right next to the creeping fig. This is the creeping fig. All right, and I like, see how I did this? Ooh, I love this. See how I did this? So a lot of the fronds are going out over the edge, and then this is going to leave room for my my Buddha. And see, this is called the Zen Garden. I have a little tiny one, or I have one that's the same size of the one over here. And I think I'm going to use the same size that that Karina used. So we're not going to use her yet, but since I'm touching it, I'm going to take her out of the package. Okay, here we go. And she can sit right there. Okay, now the next plant is this, the blue star fern. And I'm going to hold this over my tray as I knock it out, because the same thing might happen. I hope so. Okay, so there we go. And you can see it has, this is actually 3 inches deep. That would be 4 inches. So it's 3 inches deep. It's still too deep to set inside here. So I'm going to do the same thing that the other plant did on its own. I'm just going to tickle the bottom to knock off some of the soil in the bottom. So to reduce the depth of that root ball. And then as I tickle it out, I'm tickling it. You can see I'm tickling it. See the roots that are hanging? And that's neat because those roots are going to grow into the surrounding soil. So here we go. And then I look at it too and see how we've got a lot of the fronds going this way. I'm gonna, again, do the same thing. And then the other neat thing is when you look at the root ball, this is a little closer to, to the side than this is. So I'm just gonna tuck this in right here and snug it in next to the other fern and then kind of firm it in place. And then I'm seeing where I have nooks and crannies to fill in. And I'm going to do that in just a minute. Look, it's starting to look pretty good. Now the polka dot plant is also pretty large. I can tell that Karina reduced the size of the one that she used. And so I'm going to do that with this as well. And it sounds scary. It sounds really scary, but don't worry about it. Okay. And so we're going to take it out of the pot. I'm massaging the pot and I'm just going to pull it out. Okay, and this has a lot of roots that are growing out of the bottom. And when you look at the plant, you can see that there are actually 1, 2, 3 little seedlings that were put in here. So I'm just gonna look at these and I'm gonna gently just tear one of the plants off. That sounds terrible. Separate is a better term. I'm separating one of the plants out so it's smaller to go into, and it won't take over my miniature garden. So see, I'm just gently, and it's better to pull them apart than to use a knife because you don't cut as many roots. If you pull them apart, those roots pull out gently. Here we go. And you can hear it kind of ripping and tearing, but that's all right. Okay, so, and see, I'm just gently pulling and tugging, and see how I'm pulling it out. And look at how all those roots, instead of cutting it, I'm going to put this back in there. Instead of cutting it, I have all that root system in place. So I'm going to just put this right here and tuck this one in right alongside that other plant. And look at the different colors and textures. And so as I do that, I'm going to take some of this wonderful mix and firm this in around that root section so that that's going to hold this plant up. Oh, look, is that good? All right. Look at that. Okay, and then here's a little more. Now it's time to fill in all the nooks and crannies around these root balls. This looks pretty awkward, doesn't it? But okay, here we go. And I should have the soil on the other side. So I'm putting it in here. So I'm dropping it in and firming it down gently with my fingers. I don't want any air pockets in there because the roots, if the roots grow into an air pocket, they'll turn around and grow back into the root ball. So I'm doing this, and I just want it up to almost at the top of this container. And see how I'm just gently sprinkling it in and firming it down with my finger. See, I'm just firming it down with my finger. And there we go. No air pockets. Don't jackhammer. Don't jackhammer. You don't want to turn it to concrete. Okay, now I'm coming around to the back side, and there's a nook and cranny right here. And see how I'm just going to let that drop right in, and then push this down. And again, firming it around so it's in between all those roots. I'm looking right in the center now, right there. I'm going to grab a handful because there's a nook and cranny right in the center. And I'm doing this and firming it down. So I'm firming all around my polka dot plant, my hypostes. I like that name, hypostes. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is nice and firm. And see how I'm just gently firming it down? And that, that's like tucking them into bed. When you firm it down, that makes sure that the soil is right up next to all those roots. The roots don't have any air pockets next to them. And as I look, I'm seeing there's kind of a nook and cranny right here. See where my finger can go? So I'm going to get another handful of the soil and put it right here. Oh, excellent. All right, now what we're ready to do, and where did I put those? Now you can see how Karina covered the top with some of the mosses. And this is a package of mixed mosses. Super Moss makes a package of mixed mosses. So I'm going to open it up right here. And the moss that was used in this other one is a type of sphagnum sheet moss, and it's dyed green. And so you can open the package like this. And this has all the different ones in here. I love this because it helps you can be really creative with all the different ones. I should have had this open. I apologize. Okay, so, but it's nice to see how, so then I'm taking the sheet moss out, and it's the darker one up on this upper corner. See right here, right there. So I'm pulling this out, and it comes as a sheet. Okay. I look like I'm all arms, don't I? And elbows are going everywhere. Okay, so now this is when we say a sheet. See, there are layers like this. So as I look to see, Karina just puts different sections, and here we go. I'm going to show you this. See it right here, and I want to cover this area back here, all along the edge, and all underneath my hypostes. And so I'm looking, and I'm seeing it's about 1 inch wide. So I'm going to just take this sheet and then just gently tear 1 inch apart. See, I'm just taking 1 inch off of this. I'm just pulling and tugging, and it just tears really easily, almost like newspaper. Okay, so now I have this, and I'm going to lay this down right here. Well, then I like the straighter edge, so I'm going to put the straighter edge right next to the edge of the pot. Look, doesn't that look, it looks like I'm just laying sod. Okay, and I don't want to cover the crown of my fern. So I'm watching that very carefully, and then I'm pushing this down, and I want to make sure nothing is going to grow over the edge. And this doesn't grow, but once you hydrate it, once you water it, it gets nice and lush. Okay, let's put this here. And then over here, it's not quite as wide. So I'm just going to do small sections and just piece it in. Okay. So then this one, I'm just tearing this like this. And I'm going to put a piece right there. Okay. And then another piece right here. And then I have a little strip. So I'm going to go with a real small strip. So I don't want to cover up any parts of the growing tip of that fern. Okay, so there we go. And I'm tucking this in. Oh, wow. Okay, now I'm also looking at the center right here. So, and I have this perfect piece right here. See this piece right there? And I'm going to put it right in the center in between those plants. Look at that. All right. That is excellent. And then I'm looking, she had some across the front where the Buddha could sit on. So I like this piece. I'm looking for the size. And this one kind of fits just like this. Like, that's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to use, I like the blue stone, so it looks like water. And you know, how fun to be sitting by the water's edge. And I'm making sure that my Buddha can fit right in here. Oh, it's perfect. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Look, it's in the shade. Oh my gosh. Isn't it fun how these things work? Okay, now I'm opening this up. And this is fun because you can just open the package, you know, like this, and then just pour this in place. So I'm going to kind of turn it this way so I can see it and see where I'm pouring things. Oh, I just realized this isn't good. So we're going to do it like this. Divide it in half. Put one across the front here, and then one right in front, right over here. I like how that looks better. It's amazing when you look at it, you know, front on. Okay, now see how I did this? So that covers this. And then I'm noticing I have a spot right here. So I have another piece, and I'm gonna just take that. And like I said, it's like laying sod. Okay. Okay, here we go. I have another fun strip right here that I'm just gonna put over around. And this is going around the creeping fig. Perfect. Oh, look at that. All right, now I just have my water that I have to fill. And so now I can look at it head on. I'm just going to pour this right on top I just noticed that I let this go in a little too far. So guess what? I'm just going to take it off. Take this off and see if I have a spot that needs it someplace else. Aha, right there, right next to my Buddha's knee. Oh my gosh, this is perfect. Uh-oh, my little Buddha was sitting on my creeping fig. Okay, so I got that. Look at that. Look how it's growing over the leg. Okay, and I'm firming it in place. And then, because I watered all these root balls, they're nice and moist. So I don't have to water the plants per se and worry about having too much water build up in the bottom. So that's why you water them first. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour all this on here. And I want it pretty thick. Why isn't it coming out? Oh, cool. It's in a Ziploc bag so it doesn't spill all over all over the place. Uh-oh. Okay, cool. It's not in a Ziploc bag. It's in a sealed bag. So that's where you have to have your tools right at your fingertips. Okay, so here we go. How am I doing on time? Oh, I'm doing really well. Okay, I hope you're all keeping up with me. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm just gonna pour this to make it look like, oh my gosh, is this fun? I love this having a water's edge. I thought this would look good. Oh man, it's great. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna show you. You know what, this is why you have two bags. So when after you've opened this, you can put this back in here and it won't spill. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna firm the water down and make sure it's at the right level and it doesn't overflow. Boy, did I get into this or what? Wow, and now we have our stone, our quartz, to make sure the energy is wonderful. And did I leave room for the stone? Oh my gosh, I did. Just like in Karina's, I'm gonna put it just right there. And look, there we go. Look at that. Now, can you imagine yourself sitting there and meditating next to the water's edge with this crystal formation to get rid of any of your negative energy and all the wonderful oxygen that the plants are giving you? How fun, huh? Now, what I'll do afterwards is, I will water. Now, the one cool thing about using the chalet potting mix is we specify that it's moist out of the bag, so it's not going to cause any stress on these plants. Since it's moist, it's not going to pull moisture out of the root balls of the plants. So the rule of thumb, since I watered these this morning, the rule of thumb is you're going to want to use probably once every 2 weeks, no, maybe once a week, because these are smaller plants, and just take a quarter to a half a cup of water and drizzle it right over each plant. So say, my watering can has got, and I'm just going to show you how I'm just going to drizzle it. See, I drizzle it like that. See, it's drizzling. And I'm just going to drizzle it over the center of each plant. And what that will do, it will flow out into the other potting mix that's around it and keep it nice and moist. Now, the nice thing about using a glass container, this is a little heavy, so I'm going to do this. The nice thing about doing this is that you can see when the water goes down into the gravel. And if you have a layer of water built up, that means there's too much water in there. So the next time, don't water as much. And then what you want to do, don't wait till the plants wilt. Use your finger and reach in right towards the center of the plant and feel through the moss to feel if it feels moist. If it feels moist, you don't have to water. Okay, that's kind of the rule of thumb. Now, let's put this over here. Boy, I love that blue, don't you? Wow, and it almost makes me want to go swimming. But okay, here we go. Now we're gonna do this the children's version next. So I'll move this over here. I can kind of shove this. Ooh, not bad. Oh, look, she's going to be watching over us. Pretty cool, huh? So now we're going to go back to the children's version. How are we doing on time? Oh, good. It's only 11:30. All right. So this is the children's version. and I've done a different theme for the one. She has her crops. I liked this fairy that when I was coming up with the idea. I mean, again, we're using that wonderful non-breakable pet bowl. See, pretty cool, huh? All right, and we're going to start with the gravel, and I'm going to have to stand up and reach over you again. This would be terrible table manners, but okay, here we go. Please pass the gravel. And there we go. All right, so, and I'm going to put, again, just a half inch of gravel in the bottom. And again, that's to keep it nice, give a place for excess water to stand and not make the soil so soggy. Okay, there we go. All right, and then a little bit of charcoal, same thing that we did for the other one. Okay, and did you hear me? I'm leveling it out. I'm making sure the gravel's nice and level. And then this is way overkill. Usually I have these in little smaller containers, like cooking containers. But I'm going to sprinkle. This is about a tablespoon of charcoal, over the surface of this one. You should see how I cook. Okay, there we go. And there we go. All right, now, we're doing the potting mix that's going to go in here. And again, I watered the oregano, and this is oregano. Like, you know what? I didn't water this one. Watch this. Okay, I'm just going to water this one in place here. Okay. See, I'm watering it. I'm letting it soak in. It's going to soak in. And then as it's soaking in, I'm going to show you the fun things I decided to use for this one. I found a cute little garden fairy that's wearing a raincoat. And look at this. And this is how I like if we haven't had enough rain, we have this adorable little garden fairy. And look how she's saying thank you when it's raining. And isn't her cute little yellow raincoat adorable? Okay, so she's going to go in this one. And then I think you know how fairies love fairy rings, and fairy rings are mushrooms that grow in a circle. And they say that you should never walk through a fairy ring. Otherwise, you'll make the fairies angry, number one. And then number two, you can get stuck and you can go down in and disappear inside the fairy ring. So we have these cute little sets, and look at these cute little purple mushrooms. And, so we've got 6 of them. So I'm going to place it as a fairy ring in the center. She also has this adorable wicker, planting basket that I thought would be fun to have. And then the other one was, a fun birdhouse. And so this is a birdhouse, and it's on a bamboo stick. So we can cut it short enough so it will fit into our landscape, our appropriate landscape. I realized I didn't take the tag off of this one, so I'm going to take the tag off of this one. There we go. Okay, now we're ready to put the plant in place. And it looked like Karina actually divided the plant up before, but I'm going to leave this plant, whole in here, because I think it's going to be fun to have all that wonderful plant material. And so again, I watered it just a bit so it'll perk up, but I'm taking about half of the root ball off. So you can see how I'm just gently, pulling it off. It's like tickling it. And as I gently pull it off, okay, it's gently pulling the roots out. I'm not cutting it. And so you still have those roots intact, but it's not going to be as deep that, so it will fit inside this, this small container. Okay. And I love how I've got one where the plant is growing over the back side. So I'm just going to set this one in right here and have it cascade over the back. And I've got just enough right here. Although I did forget something. I want to cover the bottom of this with potting mix like I did the other one. So it has a place for the roots to be happy, and it's not just sitting on the gravel. And you can hear me leveling it out and pushing it down. Okay, and then I'm going to knock the soil off the top edge round off that edge of that root ball. And here we go. And this is going to go right back in here and cascade over. Now, you know what? I'm going to do what Karina did and divide it. So we're just going to take it, pull it gently in half. And see how, and if you just gently pull it apart, you're not cutting the roots, and the roots are just pulling apart gently, and you can see the roots as they pull apart. Can you hear that and feel that? There we go. Okay, this is perfect. I'm going to just put this right back in here because I can use this in another project. And then here we go. So this is going to go right back here, and just like Karina had hers. And this is going to go wide like this. Now I'm taking the mix, the potting mix. And this one, because we just are using this one plant, I'm going to take the potting mix and just fill it all around up to the top level of the bowl. Here we go. Oh, very good. And I've done it in the back. Excellent. And then here onto the side. And now we're going to level it all the way through. And I'm going to give this a little more water as we're going, because I want it to wait. And this moist potting mix is perfect. The plant's going to love it. The plant's going to love it. Okay. And I'm looking up next to this and firming the snow right up behind it. Very good. Oh, look how cute that is, cascading. We're going to do a little bit of this water right here. See, I'm just drizzling it in. Just drizzling it in. Perfect. And the plant's going to love it. There we go. Now the next step is to just, and you can see on this one, it had all the cute. This one had a green sand on it, and it looked like grass. But I like this. I found these the green pebbles from the miniature garden accessories. So I'm going to use that as the topping because I thought it looked really nice. I like the colors. So I know how this works. Let's do this, and we're going to open this one up. And this isn't double bagged, so I can just use my scissors and cut it open. There we go. And then we're just going to cover the whole surface. And I'm firming this down so it's nice and level. Okay. There we go. Nice and level. Time is good. Okay, and see, I'm just doing this all over here. Oh, this looks lovely. Really beautiful. I love the mixed colors of this. And I'll show you really good. Oh, look, you can see from there. You see how I'm just gently pouring this all over here. Oh, very nice. Okay, now I'm going to take a minute and just level it out. Just make sure it's all nice and level. Oh, this is wonderful. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to, let me see. Oh, in Karina's, she used, it's called reindeer moss. And it's in this bag right here also. And reindeer moss, it smells good. Reindeer moss is kind of puffy like this. It looks like puffy clumps. And you just pull a clump off. And then she put one in right over here alongside it. And then one in the back kind of supports the plant. And it makes it look like it's a planting bed. And I'm going to just put this one right here. Oh, this is really lovely. And I'm looking to see how she did hers. Perfect. And we're going to put one right in the front. Oh, look at that. And look how that makes it look like a planting, an outdoor landscape planting bed. Okay, this is a little full. So guess what? You can take it and reduce the size. Just pull it in half. And I'm just going to put that one little piece right there. Oh, this is lovely. Lovely. Okay, bring this back over here. And then our little fairy, I'm going to have her standing right next to the planting bed. And she's saying, thank you for the rain. Look how cute she looks standing there. And then we're going to do her birdhouse back in the back corner. And because it's a little too tall, I'm going to use my pruning shears and just prune the it's like a bamboo stake. See, it just cuts like a piece of like a woody branch. And we have the birdhouse right here. Perfect. Firming that down. And then I'm going to do the mushrooms are, they have little wires on them. So I'm going to do the fairy ring right in the front. You know, I'm going to tuck this oregano back behind the fairy. So she's right in front of her fairy ring. So we're going to just do a circle. We're going to do a circle at all these mushrooms. So it's a fairy ring. And they say that the fairies dance around the fairy rings out in the garden. And that's how the fairy rings come up. Okay. I have 6 mushrooms or toadstools. Perfect. Oh, I got to space that one better. Oh, the fairy ring looks good. Here, space this one a little better and space that one a little better. Oh, this looks really good. Okay, can you all see this? Can you all see this? There she is. She looks like she just finished dancing around the fairy ring. Now, we can also, I have this planting box, which would be fun to put in here, but I almost don't think we need it. So if I was going to, space it, I would probably put it back in the back side of the garden here, next to where the birdhouse is. And that actually looks pretty good. Here we go. All right. Oh my goodness, we forgot the flowers. So here are the flowers, and we're going to just put these in. We almost forgot our garden. I almost forgot it. Okay, so on this one, again, I use my wire cutter. Don't use your pruning shears, use your wire cutter. Okay, and I'm going to do a little longer one by doing this. See, I'm taking this and cutting this off right here. And I'm going to put this back in the back, on the back side of the garden. So it looks like I've got some foliage, some green plants as well. And then in taking this one, this is just going to be a flower. So I'm doing this where I see the wire right there. I'm going to follow that wire right down and prune that leaf off. Okay, so then that leaves me this wonderful cluster of flowers. So let's make this garden look better. And how neat is this? I just noticed that the flowers match the toadstools. They're a violet color to match the purple toadstools. Isn't that fun? Okay, we're going to put this one right here. Okay, and yeah, how can you forget the flowers? Good night. I'm a horticulturist. I know better. Okay, here we go. Snipping another one, and I'm just clipping that wire again there. So I have more flowers. Let's put a clump next to right next to the fairy. Oh, okay. I'm going to look at it this way. Oh, looks really good. Okay, this is going to come out this way. I'm staging that oregano so it comes back. And this is what I realized. I need to put a big clump of flowers right here. And this one looks perfect. Look how that's nice and full. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's it. Okay, what do you think, everybody? Pretty cool, huh? There's the fairy ring and the flowers and the birdhouse, and we're done. Now it's quarter till. I'm seeing that I have a bunch of questions. So let's do the questions. And I'm making sure I didn't forget anything. Didn't forget anything. Let me pull the question box up. All right, here we go. And I'm going to move the question box over so I can kind of still see what's going on. Okay, here we go. This is Fantastic Felicia. Ooh, I like that email address. Okay, can you get close-ups of what's inside the bowl? Oh no, I didn't do that. I apologize. I apologize. I can go over it again. A half inch of gravel, a tablespoon of charcoal. Okay, this is the gravel. This is the gravel. Okay, and it's from Mosier Lee is the brand name, and it's called Cell Cover Gravel. They call it river gravel, okay, river gravel. And then horticultural charcoal is from Hoffman, and it comes in this great big bag. Okay, that's Hoffman. The potting mix is the Chalet private label potting mix. And I showed you when I had it in my hand. And then the rest of the things you saw me put them in on top. I'm sorry I didn't read the question earlier. Okay, now this is Tanya Haskett. Are there any plants that should be used that shouldn't be used for this project, or plants that shouldn't be put together? Well, Tanya, that's a great question. You should have plants that like the same conditions. So that's why in the adult version we use ferns and creeping fig and hypostes. Those all like the same light conditions. They can tolerate low light and then also moist soil. You wouldn't want to put a fern with a succulent. If you're going to do succulents, but then be prepared to make them stay in full sunlight, like at least a half day of full sun coming in through the window. We like to use the low light plants, so you don't have to have them in really full light. Good question. Very good question. Okay, let me just do this. I'm doing this answer live and done. Okay, and then Tanya, done. Okay, now, this is Tanya again. How do you keep these plants miniature and under control? That's a good question. So like the oregano, I would encourage you to keep trimming it back. So as this long shoot, grows out, and I'll just show you how to do that. You're going to take your pruning shears and come back to a node. And a node is wherever leaves touch the stem, and prune right above a node. Okay. And see how I prune this little tip off right here. And then above the node, you can see that it's going to cause it to branch, in two different directions. See how there's two shoots coming up? And I could have pruned a little bit lower too. But I mean, look how cute the fairy ring looks. Oh my God, is that adorable? Okay, here we go. Now, next question. Okay. And, oh, Tanya, you've been busy. Okay, can you use steppable ground covers such as thyme, oregano, and other herbs? Absolutely. The steppables are an excellent product. Everybody, steppables is a group that makes miniature plants and then low ground cover plants that are hardy outside in our landscape. Steppables is a really neat company. Okay, next one. Can you use flowering seeds, edibles, and lettuces that you can cut and keep small, like nasturtiums? No, that wouldn't be proper in a miniature garden. They're way too big, and you'd be fighting them all the time. So, good question, though. Good question. If you want to do an outdoor miniature garden, you could do that, but not for an indoor one. Oh, here you are. I love the crystal effect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, and now. I have Maria. Okay, regarding the adult containers, can you put the container in an outside garden, will the plant survive? Sure, absolutely. If you put in an outside container, though, Maria, it has to have drainage. It has to have drainage because if you get 2 inches of rain outdoors, where do you think that water is going to go? It'll build up in the bottom of the container. So put it in a container with drainage, and these same plants would do great outside in the summertime in the shade. These are not hardy ferns. They're not hardy plants that would come back year after year, but for the summer, oh my gosh, it's wonderful. Great question. Great question. Okay, let's keep going. And I'm watching the time here. Oh, we still have 10 minutes. This is wonderful. Okay, now the next one. This is, oh, Tanya again. Wow. Can you use silica gel packs like you see in the packaged goods to keep moisture under control? Silica gel is not, silica gel absorbs moisture and takes moisture away from plants. So that's not the thing we should be talking about. And and then to keep moisture under control, what you're thinking about is to use acrylic polymers, like soil moist. And yes, you could do that. It's going to hold moisture, and for ferns, it wouldn't be a problem. It might be a problem for the oregano. It would keep the soil too moist next to the soil packs. But great question, man. You're full. You got lots of them, Tanya. Very good, very good. Okay, this is fantastic. Felicia again. Another store that sells wide variety of miniatures is Tom Thumb, now located. Thank you. Tanya again, this is perfect to do with my granddaughters in April when I see them, as they enjoy their handmade dollhouse. Oh, very good. That's what we do these training sessions, so you can enjoy these with grandkids, real kids, or even all your adult kid friends. Okay, now anonymous attendee, great demo. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. What is the cost of each garden based on the items you use? Whoa. You know what? I'm going to have to get back to you. Anonymous attendee, please send me an email. It's at Jennifer B, JENNIFERB at chaletsnursery.com, and I'll give you the prices and the costs for all the ingredients. I should have had that put together, but I did not. So I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you, later. And let me know that you're the well, I'll know that anonymous attendee. PG, I think this is PG or PB. It's the computer's far away. Thanks for the lotion suggestion. Oh yeah, look, my hands are good. Okay, dirt under fingernails is sometimes hard to remove. It really is. That's why I love this secret. And people often tell me that this is the best secret they've ever learned from me about using that lotion trick before. And then you use this when you're outside. Here's another inside secret. If you forget to put your lotion on, and I do that all the time, I go outside in the morning with my cup of coffee and I'm looking around at my garden and I just can't resist. There's a weed. And I start pulling weeds and I realize I've got, here, look at the soil underneath my fingernails. Look at that. It'll come out when I wash my hands. But if you forget to put the lotion on before you get soil all over your hands, slather it on afterwards. It dissolves the embedded soil. And when you wash your hands with hot soapy water, it comes clean. You need an inside trick. Okay. And question, on my balcony, moss is growing under a large planter. Would that moss also work in a similar indoor arrangement? Sure. Just peel it off and put it on, and it grows. That's how moss works. That's how moss works. Keep it nice and moist though. It needs to stay moist. Okay, and then this is Debbie Mason. Hi, I came in a little late. Sorry. I love this. Question, where do you get fairy supplies? We sell them at Chalet. We have a whole miniature garden section and fairy garden section. And we have some wonderful, all kinds of neat, all different kinds of fairies and all kinds of accessories. It's really fun. Come in and take a look. Really fun. Okay, good question. I should have mentioned that earlier. Okay, and here's done. Okay, Usha. Hi, Usha. Can the same method be used to make a succulent mini fairy garden? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. And you just have to be much more conscientious about watering. And I would say with a succulent and watering and full sunlight, make sure you give it direct sunlight for at least 4 to 5 hours a day for it to stay happy. And then you're going to water it probably once every 2 weeks, or maybe even once a month when you have no drainage in the container. And good questions. Good questions. Okay, and this is PB again. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, PB. Here we go. What are uses for leftover charcoal? Is charcoal helpful in outdoor container plants? The horticultural charcoal is wonderful in orchid planting mixes. It keeps the sphagnum moss and the bark mixes nice and fresh. So I like to include horticultural charcoal for that. Horticultural charcoal is great for removing any odors. If you have any problems with odors, like I had a possum die in a window well, and I just dumped 3 bags of horticultural charcoal down there, and it did the trick. It absorbed all of that odor. It's just nice for keeping. It's great in terrariums. It's really good. It's an air freshener, natural air freshener. Great question. Okay, and this is fantastic, Felicia again. If it's not too heavy, can you bring finished bowl close to the camera? Sure. Okay, here we go. Here's the adult bowl, and you can see all the, how the moss, and I'm going to go around this way so you can see the moss is all tucked in like turf, right on top of it. And you can see the layers as I'm turning it around and around and around. And then there's the silica crystal. And then you can see the blue crystal. Great. That was the heaviest. The little guy is easier because the glass is heavier. And then here's the small one. And you can see there the fairy ring and the oregano and the wonderful artificial flowers that are going to stay in bloom the whole time. No deadheading. There's the window, the wicker window box, and the birdhouse, and the back side of the cute fairy. And then there she is saying thank you to the rainfall again. Okay, great question. All right, and let me do the next one. This is Tanya again. Okay, let me do this. Can you show the first adult one again? Sure, good timing. I'm gonna move this out of the way. And here's the adult one again. This has got like an inch glass bottom. So this one's really heavy. Okay, so let's do this. And then see the white crystals? And then there's the hypostes. This one's a little harder to maneuver. So got it? Everyone happy with that? There we go. It's a good thing I lift weights, huh? Ooh, I don't have to lift the weights this afternoon. Okay, now, how long will the fairy garden last? Usha, as long as you give it bright light and you keep it well watered, it'll be just fine. And because they're shade plants, they don't grow very quickly. So that's great. So moist, yes, yeah, Tanya, that would be a better thing than silica gel. Okay, and then Susan, hi Susan. Fantastic presentation. Is it still safe? Oh, is the sale still going on, Shelley? You all are so funny. Yes, the Step Into Spring sale, the 20% off sale, is good through Sunday. So, you get a one-time purchase as a Chalet Rewards customer and your entire purchase, and you get to do that once, is 20% off. Thank you for asking that. I love you all. You're so great. This is so funny. Okay, and Tanya, again, great ideas and great presentation. Thank you very much. That is so fun. Okay, and then Deb, here we go. Beautiful. Thank you. And you know what? When you see Karina, be sure and say, perfect, perfect, perfect design. She came up with the design and I just replicated it. I just showed you how to do it. Okay. And then okay, Usha, great. Thanks a lot. Shane, hi Jennifer. I enjoyed the class so much and always great to see you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, and then here's Maria again. Oh, Usha says, great, thanks a lot. Thank you, beautiful, and looks so relaxing. Oh, I'm going to tell Karina you said that. She'll love that. She'll love that. That was from Maria. And then, I guess, okay, and then Shane and, okay, great. Okay, and then Stephanie Arroyo. Oh my God, Stephanie. Okay, love this. Thank you. And then, okay, I'm not doing my talk section very well. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now I got it down. Okay, that was Shane. There's anonymous attendee again. So cute. Can you make one of these with a glass dome? Can you make one of these with a glass dome? What plant should you use? A glass dome? Oh, you're talking about like a glass terrarium dome that has a lid on it. Sure. And these plants would be wonderful inside a terrarium. The ferns would be fine with the reduced light that would come in through the glass. Whenever you try to put succulents that need bright light into a glass terrarium, like a dome with a bowl with a lid, they don't get enough light because the light won't come through the glass sufficiently for succulents. But ferns love it. It's one of the best ones. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you're talking about a glass, a glass like bowl, an open glass bowl, and instead of a glass dome. When I'm thinking of a glass dome, I'm thinking of those round domes that don't have openings that go outside, in those reflecting balls. So that was the first thing that came. But you're talking about an open bowl. Yeah, that's great. Okay, and then I keep getting wonderful questions. You guys are great. Okay, here we go. And then I'm gonna scroll down for the last one. So cute. And boy, I think we did it. It looks like I've got one chat. Let me go over to the one chat, and then we're right at 1:00. And I want to thank you all. It looks like I still have 22 people. Man, you stuck with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then so that everybody knows, all of our virtual recordings or virtual presentations are recorded and then they're posted on the Chalet YouTube page. So you can, and they get posted Friday evening at the end of business. And so then you'll have them for the weekend and then, starting on this weekend and going next week. And you can always go back and watch it again. So I want to say thank you to everybody. I'm going to just check that one chat to make sure I didn't miss anybody's chat. And does the moss fill in over time? This is Brad Newman. The moss, this moss is not living moss. So this doesn't grow. So when you water it, it hydrates and looks moist and healthy. But this is not living moss. We also sell packages of living moss that once you put it in a moist soil, it will actively grow, but this one does not. This is dyed and it just stays where it stays put, it stays put. So great questions. You guys are wonderful. And let me just make sure we took care of them all. And I'm gonna just click this one off. And I'm gonna say thank you to everybody. And stay tuned to all of our virtual webinars and our virtual demos. We really appreciate you. Mwah. Thanks. Bye now.